tell me about the choice for Best Collection?
Well, we chose for Best Collection Kai Miller because it struck all of us, I think. This was a really fresh kind of poetry. I thought it was original. I thought it both read well on the page, and you could imagine it being read aloud. I thought it was a really engaging kind of approach, which I certainly was quite pleasantly surprised by. I thought it was a really worthy winner.
And what about the Best First Collection?
The Best First Collection we gave to Liz Berry for her collection Black Country, which again seemed to all of us to be very fresh. There's a lot of Black Country dialect in it, which actually isn't too difficult. It's accessible, it's original, and it has some startling insights in it too. So that was, there was again one other collection that we thought ran it very close and we argued about for 20 minutes or something, but no, we loved this.
And both collections are very linguistically rich and
Yes.
linguistically specific. Are those qualities that have defined the judging process this year?
All poetry should be like that, shouldn't it? Linguistically specific. I'm not quite sure what that means.
Well, I
but
suppose
anyway.
in terms of place.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes. I see. Yes, I suppose they are. Yes, that's true. Yes.
And I suppose they both share a kind of performative aspect as well. They're both.
Should we swap places? You can come and do this. You're explaining much more eloquently than I've managed to do so far.
And of course, you've returned to the judging table facing the absence of Danny Apsey.
Yeah.
How did you incorporate Danny's opinions on the books in the judging process?
Well, Danny was thoughtful enough when he was taken ill, obviously shortly before he died, to write down what he would like to see happen with the judging process. And, his voice was one of 5, and I think that he would be pretty pleased. I suppose I must keep the confidences of the judging table, but I think he'd be pretty pleased by the decisions that we came to as a group. So we were able, luckily, to take his views into account because he'd written down what he wanted to see happen. And, we differed on all sorts of things, but I'm pretty confident he'd be happy wherever he is now. When he finds out what the winners are, I think he'll be pleased.
There's not usually much connection between journalism and lyricism, but
You could say that, yes.
But do you think it's important that somebody from a different professional background takes part in a poetry judging panel?
Well, look, if poets are really only writing for other poets, it's a complete circular waste of time. So I am not doing this and wasn't invited to do it, I imagine, because I am a poet. I'm clearly not a poet. I wrote some very bad poetry when I was pretty young. I couldn't write a poem to save my life now. I think I'm just there as a member of the public, and I think it's members of the public that poets have got to reach out to. I don't find the implied criticism of your question one that really cuts any ice with me. I don't care. I think I'm the sort of person who has to be persuaded to read a volume of poetry. I love poetry, and that there are many thousands of people like me, I think, who love poetry, but who need a bit of a nudge in the right direction as to who's interesting to see or read.
And now you've got much more time to yourself in the evenings. You're not tempted to take up your pen again?
No, I think the world is safe from that.
Thank you.